Hey guys, we are talking about workflow. This is my favorite feature of AnywherePOD. I've told this to Chris this like a million times. I am always coming back to this one. I say it's the secret weapon of all the features. And it is probably, in my opinion, the most game-changing part of how we do print on demand since print on demand began. It's one that's not flashy. It's not one that's going to go viral because I don't know why, actually, honestly, because again, this is like the coolest feature. It's the secret weapon. So you guys, I'm so excited we get to share it with you. We're going to be talking about workflow today. And the reason why I love this is because it's easy to do research, right? I love finding golden nuggets when I'm doing my research. Designing is fun. It's fun to kind of put things together. You know what's not fun is putting a listing together. There's a lot of moving parts to it, right? We have like you have to create that image, you have to create the mockups. There's, if you're doing everything manually, you're downloading, uploading, using different programs to bring that all together. Obviously, if you're using AnywherePOD, that's all streamlined, so it's a few clicks of a button. And then if you have, like, let's say you're doing 5 designs, 10 designs, then you have to get that all up there. And if you don't get anything up, you cannot get data. And if you don't get data, you cannot grow your shop, right? And if you don't have anything in your shop whatsoever, you don't even have the possibility of getting sales. So today, we are going to show you how you can supercharge your workflow so that you can create 2 to 20 listings in 2 minutes or less. It is pretty amazing. We are going to be using AI in this workshop. So you would want to have your OpenAI account set up. This is different from a ChatGPT subscription. So I want to make that clear that OpenAI is the parent company of ChatGPT. That is one of their services. What we are connecting to is a different service. And so you will connect with them. You purchase some tokens. We recommend starting out with $5 to $10. Because we're, right? This is all right. Okay. It's very affordable to do. Like, it's really pennies to be able to do this. And it's going to save your sanity. That's the important thing. We're going to use our pennies to save our sanity doing print on demand. So let's jump in.
Yeah, cool. So I'll pull up my screen here and we'll get started. So as Anna was saying, this is like one of the things I'm most excited to talk about, because this really helps to take you guys to the next level, be able to create listings faster and more efficiently without having to do all those manual soul-sucking tasks on every listing. So really excited for this one today. So a little bit of what we're going to go over. We're going to start with creating one single product and using our tools on that product. That is going to allow us to set up all of our mockup templates and everything on that first initial product, so that from there, everything will be automated. So we're going to go through kind of start to finish, creating our initial product, getting our mockup set up, walking through some of the AI tools, even setting up all of our attributes on Etsy. So we're going to walk through that process on one listing. Most of these steps are things that you only ever have to do once. So we're going to get this created. It's going to be set up for the one listing. And then from there, we're not going to have to do that every time. So everything from our attributes to our mockups, even our SEO can be automated now. So we really only need to do that step once, and then everything's going to be automated from there. So we want to walk through from the beginning, though. So you guys will see we're going to be doing an apparel kind of t-shirt listing and walking through getting that set up and getting our apparel mockups set up. And then from there, everything should be completely set for you guys. So that's kind of what we're walking through today. So let me pull up my screen and we will get into it here. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so here I am back in AnywherePOD. If you guys haven't been following along the last couple of days, the main connections we're going to be using today, of course, you're going to want to connect to either your Etsy or your Shopify store. Also connect to your print provider. Today for the t-shirts we're building, we are going to be using Printify, but keep in mind, just like everything else in AnywherePOD, it's kind of the same process regardless of the provider that you're using. And then you'll also want to connect to OpenAI if you have not yet. Pretty simple process. You just need to follow the steps here to get your API token copied over. We covered this in more detail, and I did a little bit earlier, and we covered this quite a bit yesterday as well. So I won't go into as much detail on that today, but it's really just a matter of following the steps that are listed over here on the left side and going through that process. Okay, so let's get started creating our first listing. So I'm going to come in here to our product catalog, and I'm going to go over to t-shirts. That's what we will be working with today. And then I'm going to go to comfort colors for our example here. So this is going to be our comfort colors 1717. And I'm going to be using Swift POD. Again, you can use any of the suppliers that you're used to using with Printify. So we'll go to start designing. Now here, just like this is all similar to the processes that you guys have seen the last couple of days of creating products. Not really doing anything unique yet. So we're going to add our design either from Canva, or if you have artwork, you can just upload your artwork directly here. Which is what I have for today's example. I'm just going to upload a PNG that I have here. Okay, so there is my PNG, and then you're going to want to select the colors that you want to offer kind of across the top here. So I'll select a few colors that I want to be able to offer. And then no personalization on this one, although keep in mind this process, everything that we're going through today works with personalization as well. So we can get into that a bit more when we get to the rapid lister portion. So now I'm going to go to create product down here at the bottom. And just like the others, it's going to go through and generate our placeholder artwork for us. And then it's also going to generate any of the mockups that are available from the print supplier as well. So we're going to have all of Printify's mockups available in here for us to use too. Now, what I want to do here as well is I'm going to create my own custom mockup templates along with this product as well. So to do that, I'm going to go to add new mockup template down here at the bottom. And here, I'm going to go to upload blank mockup. Now, especially for t-shirts, a couple of things that you want to make sure when you're creating your mockup templates. One is generally you're going to want to create a different mockup template for each color, especially if you're using any kind of like lifestyle shots on your mockups. You can upload multiple of your like blank mockups here. So if I wanted to upload multiple colors, I could, but my artwork positioning would need to be the same for each of those mockup colors. So if you're doing like a flat lay where the only thing that changes in the mockup is going to be the product color, you can add those multiples at a time. Otherwise, you're just going to want to do one mockup template at a time, which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go to upload blank mockup. And let me go to one of my mockups here. Okay, so I'll start with Ivory here. So I'm going to upload that, and that's going to load here, show me my file name here. So the other important thing that you want to make sure to do is to select the correct color over here on the right. So the two kind of gotchas that get most people, one is what I just said about doing one mockup image at a time. And then the other, you want to make sure that you're selecting the correct color to match that mockup. So in this case, this is my Ivory mockup here. So So I'm going to select ivory and go to save and continue. Now that's going to add both my design and then my mockup image here on the design as well. So we can position this design onto the mockup as we need to, so it lines up. Now in this case, I have some hair that is kind of covering up onto the mockup. So you can use, like in Canva, they have a magic grab tool where you can just grab that hair and export that hair separately and be able to add that as an overlay on top of this. And then that gives you an even more kind of realistic mock-up to go along with it. Let me see. I'm not sure if I downloaded that. I do. I have it here. So let me upload that too. So I have an image that's this exact same size, but it is just of that hair portion. So you can see we have this hair here. When I expand this to fill the area, you see now that it is kind of giving that more of a natural look onto the product. So the other thing that I want to do on this mockup is lower my opacity a little bit. So we'll lower that down to usually about 85, 90% is what you want to do here. That's going to give you kind of a more realistic look, more realistic kind of printed look for your artwork, which is very similar. If you guys have created, designed, or mockups in Canva, this is a very similar process to creating those mockups in Canva. We're just doing it in AnywherePOD as a template, and then it's going to be completely reusable and automatic for us then going forward for any products that we create. Okay, so we have that set. So we're just going to go to Save Custom Mockup. And now that is going to generate that mockup for us on this product. And it's also going to save that as a mockup template attached to that ivory shirt color. So in the future, anytime I create an ivory shirt, whether I'm creating just a one-off shirt or if I'm creating rapid lister, that ivory mockup is just going to automatically be generated with the right artwork for me in the right position every time. So it's literally like a set it and forget it. Create the mockup template once, and like you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just automatically have access to all those mockups, which is a huge, huge time saver. So let's run through one more example of that, of another color, so you guys can see that process one more time. So we're going to go to Add Mockup Template. I'm going to go to Upload Blank, and this time I have a pepper design here. So I'm uploading just one image, and then I'm assigning that to the correct color. So that's going to be our pepper color. Going to hit Save and Continue. And then I just need to position my artwork. In this case, I need to shrink that down just a bit here. And you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to kind of fine tune things a little bit. We're going to lower our opacity down to about 85% again on this one, and click on Save Custom Mockup. So I would just go through and do that for every color that I want to offer. And then my mockups are set again, not only for this listing, but any listings that I do in the future.
Chris, I'm just going to stop you real quick to just address this because we're here. Guys, you do want your mockup to look as close as possible to what the customer is going to receive. Don't be too crazy about like, is it exact? If it looks like it should on a shirt, you're good. You know, you wouldn't blow it up so big and then put that on as your mockup. So just make it look like it should belong on a shirt. And if it looks like that, and then you're good to go.
Yes, that is a good point. So it's more important to have your mockups look good and look like a good representation. There's so many variances, you know, there's different sizes. These are on people of different sizes. Things wrap around differently. Like, it's good. There's some variance in that, right? Depending on the person, the body shape, the size of shirt, all of that. The important thing here is that when you look at your mockups that you create and you look at the print provider mockups, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's close. That looks accurate. And that's the important piece that you're going for. So we'll see here now, we have under vendor mockups, we have all of our mockups that are available from Printify. And then under our custom mockups here, we have our custom mockups that we have available. You can add, if you guys are using a size chart or any kind of infographic that you like to provide with your Comfort Colors shirt, you can add those as a mockup template in the same way that I just did. If you don't want the design on it, you would just remove that design. You would just delete it from the right side. And then you would have your infographics that would automatically come through on all of your products as well. So that's one less thing that you have to worry about kind of uploading every time. So let me just go through. I'm going to select my two custom mockups here, and then let's just select a couple of the vendor mockups here as filler so we can see how that works. So we'll start with those, and I'll save that. So that takes care of our mockups section. So the next thing that we want to add on to here is going to be our SEO. So we want to add in our title, tags, and descriptions to kind of finish off this listing a bit here. So to do that, we have this generate with AI option here. Okay, so this is one of those features that's going to connect to your OpenAI account to be able to help with the generation of this. Now, all that gets generated here is text. So the cost to use this is very, very minimal. It's usually like a few pennies. A lot of times I'm seeing these even less than a penny to be able to do this generation. So there's not a lot of cost associated with it. Now, when we started doing this, one of the things that I found that I did not like with most of the AI tools that help you with title tags and descriptions is that it comes up with very generic information, right? Maybe it's reading your image, but then it's just trying to come up with generic stuff. So you end up, for example, with this, you'd end up with something really generic like graphic t-shirt, or maybe it realizes that it's a nurse design and it'll say nurse graphic shirt or something like that. Types of keywords that we know aren't really going to help you with driving your sales and actually help with your SEO. So we kind of took this a step further where you can actually import your research data directly from Everbee or eRank or any of those tools that you use. So right now you do have to import that information in. We are working with those different companies to have a direct integration to streamline this even more. But essentially what you would do is on eRank, you can, as you're doing your research, you can go through and add keywords to a favorites list, right? So in this case, we have a bunch of nurse designs that we're working on. So we would go to eRank, do our research for nurses, add all of those to a favorites list, and then eRank actually lets us export all of that data that we added to that favorite list as a CSV file. So right here, we can just upload that CSV file. And when I upload that, you'll see, so part of that CSV file contains that research data. So what's really cool here is, one, we're using our own research. So we still consider that step to be a non-negotiable, right? Like you really need to be doing your research, finding those keywords that you're wanting to target for your designs. That's still something that you need to do. This does not replace doing your research, but it augments that research and streamlines the process of getting to highly optimized listings. So since we have that research data now imported, you can even have the AI, you see here where we're saying use keywords that have high average searches, low Etsy competition. So the AI is actually able to act on that research data as well, which makes this tool really, really powerful. If you are using a tool that doesn't let you kind of export as a CSV like eRank does, you can still just get a list of your keywords, and I would just add those to my prompt right here. So you can adjust the prompt and just say, add the list of keywords into the prompt, and then the AI can use those keywords then to generate all the information for you. So once we have that loaded in, we're just going to come down here and click on generate. So again, this is doing it for our first listing here. So this is taking our artwork now that we've uploaded, and then it's also taking the research data that we gathered, that we added to the AI as well, and it's combining all of that together to come up with highly targeted title tags and descriptions for us. So we can see here the title tags and descriptions that it listed. What's nice with each one of these sections is we added a lot of flexibility in. So say if you're working on the title and you kind of get the title locked in, but you maybe kind of want to regenerate the description, you're able to just regenerate the description without having to redo the entire thing. We also, on tags down here at the bottom, instead of just giving you the kind of standard 13 tags, you have an alternate set of tags down here at the bottom. So if you want to swap out maybe pediatric nurse gift, we want to swap that out for just like a nurse gift idea maybe. You can swap those in and out really easily and have an extra set of tags there that you can kind of work off of. And again, you can always generate a new set of tags here as well. So it gives you a lot of flexibility as you're kind of going through and getting everything added. We always say, if you've used AI, it's not, AI can't be 100%, doesn't replace everything 100%. So this gets you 90% of the way there most of the time, to where you can kind of just go through, review things, make sure it's how you want it to be before kind of moving on and applying that to your product. So once we have that done, we're going to come down here to the bottom and click on Apply to Product. And now that's going to apply those title tags and descriptions that we just generated, and it's going to apply that to our product, which is really cool and powerful, I think, in its own right. But when we start combining these different steps here in a few minutes with our rapid lister, that's where you're really going to see this kind of workflow be supercharged. So this is really just kind of, like I said, setting up our initial template. Once we have that set up, you can also come in and we're going to want to set our pricing, because those are going to carry over to each listing as well. So think of this product kind of as an initial template that we're able to then reuse over and over for additional products. So we can update our prices in bulk here. If we scroll down to our variant section and go to update prices, here we can set either as a fixed amount per size, or if we want to do it based on margins, we can do that too. In this case, I'm just going to go through and set, we'll set all of our pricing to $29.99. We'll do that across the board. You would want to charge a little bit more probably for your 3X and 4X because the cost is a bit more for those. But that will set all of our pricing here as well and gets all that updated for us. Okay, so before we get into the rapid lister, there's one last thing that I want to do. That this is one of the first times that we're actually showing this, because it's just another one of those steps that is going to help automate this if you're selling on Etsy. If we were on Shopify, I would be ready to kind of move to our rapid lister. But on Etsy, when I publish this product over to Etsy, and now if I open up Etsy and view this in our Etsy editor here, and we're going to come down to the details section, you guys will see there's several things that you often want to set here. So for our, and actually it looks like this carried over already from a previous product that I did. But from your core details here, you can set up who made it. Normally you want to set this to another company or person. It's a finished product made to order, and then you can set your production partner here as well. So you want to set your production partner to Printify or Custom CAD or Shine On, whatever provider you're using. You'll be able to set that here on the listing. And what I'm going to do here, guys, we're going to walk through this. I'm going to show you how this is another one of those steps that you only have to set these details once, and then they'll carry over onto every other product. So we have that set. Everything else you can set in here as well. So materials, you can see I have set here to cotton and polyester. We've got our sleeve length, our neckline, all of this information here, all this set of attributes. You can come through and set all of these: clothing style, if you need to use the occasion or holiday or graphic information, all of these attributes that you have to set in Etsy. Etsy's announced they're using these attributes more and more, so it's getting more important to set these attributes on your listings, which this used to be another one of those manual tasks that you don't have to worry about anymore. So once you have all of your attributes set here, you got everything set up, we're going to save this. So you want to hit Save Draft down there at the bottom. So that gets saved in Etsy. And then if we come back over here to AnywherePOD, if we click on this green Etsy button here at the top, you'll see now there is a link at the top that says Sync Listing Details to AnywherePOD. What this is going to do is it's going to, all of that attribute information that we just set in Etsy, it's going to pull all that back into AnywherePOD and store that on this product. So that going forward, anytime we create a Comfort Color shirt, and I mean anytime, if we create a new one from scratch, if we create one using our Rapid Lister, anytime we create this Comfort Color shirt, all of those attributes, all of the print provider settings, everything that we did there is going to flow through automatically, and it's going to set that information for you on Etsy. So it's just one more thing that you're not going to have to worry about anymore. You do it once and it's another set it and forget it type of thing. You do it once and it's all good to go. So that's the last of it. We're going to click on that. That's going to sync everything back over. And now that's going to be set up going forward to be automatic for us as well. So this has our first kind of initial product complete, which is cool. There's been a lot of breadcrumbs I've kind of left for you along the way. Now we can see how all of this is going to come together. This is where the magic really starts to happen, where now that we've got our mockups created, we've got our Etsy attributes set, we've got our variants set, we've got our pricing set. Now for future listings, we don't need to worry about doing all of that manual work anymore. This Rapid Lister, this will work if you have 1 design, 2 designs, 20 designs, whatever the case is, however many more you want to add. This is going to be a faster way. Even if you're just creating one, it's going to be a lot faster than going to the product catalog and just creating one, because all of your pricing, all of your variants, everything are already set for you. And this is across the entire product catalog. So whether you're doing, in this case, we're doing apparel, it has more variants, so it's more complicated. But imagine using this for Christmas ornaments, right? Like, and that only has 1 variant. You go through, you set up all your mockups, you set up all your attributes, you do your designing in bulk. Literally as fast as you can design, you can have listings complete, and not just like the generic listings, but highly optimized listings with your SEO, with your mockups, everything already complete for you. So enough jibber jabber. Let me jump into the Rapid Lister for this apparel product and show you guys how all this magic kind of comes together here. So on this product, the system is, think of it as essentially going to use this product as a template. So if I come into my Rapid Lister here, you'll see the options that pull up here. So here under Choose Files, this is a multi-file upload. So I can upload 1 design, 2 designs, 20 designs. You can't even do more than that. You do start to run into a few limits sometimes with like Printify API limits when you get into huge numbers. Usually I like to work in batches closer to like 20 to 50, just because I find that a little bit easier to manage myself on kind of double checking and making sure that everything is correct. That's generally kind of the batch size that I like to work in. But for today's example, let me just upload 3 or 4 designs here. So I'm going to select those and go to upload. So you'll see here we have our designs here that are uploaded, which is cool. But you can also apply our the AI that we went over a few minutes ago to generate all of your title tags and description. You can do that in bulk as well. So when I click on Generate with AI, I'm going to upload our CSV file that I did previously that has all of our research data already in it. So here is our research data added. And now when I click on generate, it is not only going through the keyword data that I added in the CSV, that was my own custom research that I did, then it's also going to review all of the artwork that I have uploaded, and it is going to kind of mash those together. So it's able to read the artwork and see where I'm talking about a NICU nurse or emergency room nurse or anything like that. So you can see that's done generating now. As I scroll through here, you'll see this one was able to pull in delivery from the design, and it's going to pull that through in the description and tags as well. Here's an emergency nurse shirt. You can see it's pulling in those specific keywords that I had. So my CSV file was kind of niche specific. They were all kind of nurse related, nurse themed designs. This is able to pull out and correlate for example, here, the emergency nurse keywords, and it's able to correlate that to that design. So it really does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. You have all of the same flexibilities here where you can generate individual sections. So if I'm working on a title and I get my title locked in, I can regenerate just my description if I need to. I have my tags here that I can swap in and out. All of that is set up and done in bulk for each one of these right along the way. So it is super, super powerful. So once I go through those and I'm good with having all of those, when I click on submit here, what this is going to go through now and do is going to take that initial product that I created. It's going to keep all of the same colors, the same pricing, all that same information, and create a new product for each one of those designs that I uploaded. It's also going to go through any of the mockup templates that I have added and selected for that product. It's going to go through and generate new mockups for every single one of those products. If I had vendor mockups selected, it's going to select those same vendor mockups. It's going to apply all of my SEO that we just generated automatically, and it's going to have all of my Etsy attributes already set on that product. So really, once this is done, once you walk through that step, you upload those designs, you hit go, like literally each one of these designs is done. You've got the highly optimized SEO complete. You've got your mockups complete. Like it took care of automating so much of that process for you. So if I refresh here, we'll see some of these starting to complete here now. So if I click into one of these, you can see this one's ready to go. It has my new design listed here. My SEO all applied to it, all of my same artwork, and everything's set up. All of my mockups are selected, and everything's, as I said, just completely automated and good to go with it. Come into select mockups, you can see the same 5 were selected. So I've got my custom ones selected here, and then my few that I had selected of the vendor mockups. If you do decide to use any vendor mockups to fill in, all of those are automatically selected for you here as well. Yeah, I think that's everything. So give me a few thumbs up if that was awesome. Cool. I am sure that we have questions, Anna.
We've got so many, and honestly, I try and answer what I think. Sometimes I try and answer in the chat because it's more relevant to that seller. But we have so much that I think is relevant for everyone that I think we're going to be here for a minute.
Awesome.
From eating my phone cord in 5 parts.
Okay. Somebody is unmuted.
We're good.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Stacy, do you want to go first, and then I'll start going through the chat?
Oh yeah, real quick. Oh, this is so freaking awesome. I can't wait. So question, I'm so sorry I missed it. I don't know if it's too late for you to show this. There was a part right before you clicked on something to get into Etsy in order to see the attributes, and I just missed on what it was that you selected.
Yes. So on any product in AnywherePOD, once you publish it to Etsy, it's going to publish to your Etsy drafts. To be able to pull up that listing really quickly, though, after you publish it from AnywherePOD, you'll see this green Etsy button here at the top. And if you click on that, you'll get a menu here where you can just click view on Etsy, and that will open up that draft listing directly inside of your Etsy account. So you don't have to like go to Etsy and go to drafts and find it in your list. You're able to just get directly to that product much faster.
Perfect. So
Okay,
then I
some
would do
people-
this for Etsy and then move over to Shopify and do the same thing for either if I wanted to have it on both.
Yes. Yep. And then to publish to Shopify, there's just a push to Shopify button here at the top that'll publish the product then over to Shopify for you.
Okay, awesome. Some people, one person had a question about being able to update the attributes on the Etsy listing. How are you able to do that?
Yes, so it will publish over whatever you had that you synced back. But if you need to make any changes, like maybe you have some that you want to add specific occasions to, you can still make any of those edits to the listing directly inside of Etsy. So if there's any kind of one-off things that often change per listing, you can just make those changes in Etsy directly.
Okay, and then you would save that and it would go back to AnywherePOD? Like AnywherePOD would pick up on those changes?
If you sync it back. So if you have something that changes a lot, like maybe occasion, where, you know, sometimes it's Christmas, I think they have like anniversary and different stuff in there. You don't have to sync that back if you don't want to. The only time it's going to update so that it applies to future listings is when you click on this sync listing details to AnywherePOD. Otherwise, the changes that you make in Etsy will just kind of stay in Etsy.
Okay, sounds good. So that's the key, is the sync changes.
Yes.
All right. Patricia, I'm going to get through some of these questions here and then we'll come back to you. So Kara says, can I also do this on a notebook?
Yes. So you can do this across the board on any product. Right now, the only limitation to the Rapid Lister is you just have one set of images that you will upload. So that Rapid Lister will go through and change the first image in any of your artwork. So you could even do this for, like in this case, I had t-shirts. If I wanted to offer this same design on a sweatshirt, the Rapid Lister would work for those types of products as well. It would change that artwork for both products. If I have multiple designs that I'm offering in one listing, or maybe I'm doing a different design on the front and the back, it's going to update both of those to be whatever image you upload. So you can still use the Rapid Lister. You would just have to go back in and change that, like that back design or whatever the case may be for that second offering.
Okay.
And that is something that we plan to update in the future, where the Rapid Lister will work for multi-artwork listings as well, much easier. So that's something that'll be coming in the future.
Yes. So this is the one that I will answer. Diane says, so the initial keyword list included all various types of nurses. So yes, I had created that list in eRank and I just pulled all the best keywords that I found. I like to call them golden keywords, and put them into a list. So I like eRank because it allows you to make a list of keywords and then you can download that as a CSV. That's where we got that data. If you don't have a CSV, that's fine. You might be using something like Everbee or Insight Factory. Then you can copy and paste those into your prompt. I just like that it's super easy in eRank. I like the color system. It's kind of like kindergarten level, like yellow, green, yellow, red, orange, makes it really easy. And then I can download it and then I can bring it in here. So one thing that's really important is that keyword research is non-negotiable. You do not want to use ChatGPT to find your keywords for you. It will give you very generic stuff. It's not useful. It's not data-driven. And so while these SEO tools are not perfect, they are definitely far and superior than ChatGPT. So this is something that you really need to make sure you understand what your keywords are, so that you know who you're targeting too. That's the other thing. If you're not doing your keyword research and you leave it to ChatGPT, you don't even know if that's a area that has less competition. It may not even give you a very good ideal buyer. And so that is really non-negotiable. The other thing too is that the Rapid Lister is going to get you 95% of the way there in all of your listings, but you still need to go through and just double check, like, did it give you something that is too generic or doesn't make sense? It's going to do that because it's AI. And that's why it's important that you do your research so that you can just quickly scan through your 20 listings in 2 minutes and swap out those keywords that didn't make sense or that just are not relative to what you saw in your research. So that's really, really important that this is not hands-off part. This is something that you've actively done before and you're bringing it into Rapid Lister so you're eliminating all the copying and pasting, and then you're using your brain to just make sure everything is correct. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And yes, Rapid Lister can pull from like as you saw an example, we have like ER nurse, we have NICU nurse, so that's all fine. I personally like to work in batches of a similar topic. So like I like to cover all nurses. It might be all soccer moms, it might be all some kind of ornament, but I do like to work in those batches because I think it's good for our brain to stay focused on one niche at a time. And then that way, like, it's easier for you because you know the data, you can look through that. But if you have like 5 things going on, you might not be able to kind of keep that all in your head. You could do it, but I personally feel like best practice is to try and work in batches kind of in the same realm and then keep moving through them. So, okay, now we have, in Shopify, if we had Shine On products and use Shine On mockups, would the bulk upload tool work to copy and use the same mockups?
Yes. So if you are using vendor mockups, whether it's with Shine On or Printify or whatever, any of the mockups that you have selected and generated on that product will be the same ones that are selected and generated when you do that Rapid Lister. So if you're using Shine On and say you're doing journals and you're using the same 10 mockups or 4 mockups or whatever it is from Shine On, when you do that Rapid Lister, it's going to give you the exact same set of mockups already generated for you.
Okay. Will it work if each new image is a different breed of dog, for instance?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're doing, if you want like a different listing, it's going to create a new listing for each breed of dog, but you can absolutely do that. So if you've got one for Labradors and you use the Rapid Lister and you upload 10 other dog breeds, it's going to create 10 new listings for you with each dog breed.
Okay. I saw this a few times in the chat. People seemed a little confused about, is this the same process for Shopify as it is for Etsy?
So yes, it is a very similar process. One thing you will notice is if you are selling on both Etsy and Shopify, there is kind of a toggle here to be able to toggle between whether you want to generate for Etsy or Shopify, because especially like titles that you generate for Etsy kind of have a unique perspective and layout to them that you would not always necessarily want for Shopify, because you're kind of targeting things a little bit differently there. So you can select here at the top, and also Shopify, you don't have the tags like you do with Etsy, so you can toggle between there whether you want to generate for Etsy or if you want to generate for Shopify.
Okay. Yeah, and the important thing too, guys, is we have this as a structure, but you can change the prompts if you need to make it fit whatever your need is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So don't feel like you need to have the answer. Think of your situation and come up with a solution and use the framework to make it work for you.
Yep.
Okay,
So this is you're prompting an AI, right? So like if you want to do something different, we have some things set behind the scenes, some training and information that we've set this up on to give you relevant titles and everything for Etsy and for Shopify. But if you want something different or you want something unique or specific in the description, like just add it to the prompt and tell the AI what you want, and it does a pretty good job at kind of matching those instructions.
Okay, we have with Rapid Lister, do you have the option to fix any artwork on the product if it doesn't place how you want it to print?
Yes. So the way this works is when you upload your images, it is going to replace the whatever you upload in the rapid lister. It's going to replace the first image in each of your artworks that you may have listed here. So in this case, it's just the one. So it's going to come through and just replace this image and have it positioned in the same spot every time. So if you're designing in batches and your designs are the same size, it's going to come out the exact same on every one. If your designs are a little bit of a different size, it's still going to replace it, but it's going to just kind of resize and center it based on this initial design that you uploaded. So if I uploaded another design that my dimensions were a little bit different, it's still going to replace it and place it on here. And then if you need to make any additional changes, you can always come back into any of the products, edit the artwork, and tweak them one by one if you need to.
Yeah. And this kind of goes back to why I like to work in batch, because like these nurse designs should be all the same dimensions. It should all kind of be within the same layout so that you're not having all these little tweaks to do.
Yep.
So I would rather work like, even if I had like 5 designs in like a niche and work in that batch, and then do like 5 different ones if they have like something different. So it's a really just trying to like replicate the same thing over and over again makes it really easy.
Yep.
Okay. Will the AI remember my prompts and training? For example, if I say always include XYZ in the description.
It will not. So you want to copy that in when you run that rapid lister. We have looked at like having your own prompt settings. So if there's something like that that you feel like you're always having to copy in, that you would have like a global setting that you could kind of set the and change what that prompt looks like. But right now it's going to be that same initial prompt that you saw that was in there earlier, and then you can change it as you need to.
Okay. Do you limit the tag length to 20 for Etsy?
Good question. So it turns out that AI is like super powerful and like super smart, right? Like we've all seen some really cool stuff that AI can do. However, my first grader is still better at counting characters than AI is. So it turns out AI does not really understand characters. So we do have prompts in there and instructions and lots of different instructions to try to limit it to 20 characters, but it does not always limit it to that 20 characters. We should have very soon, we are adding kind of a secondary check to that on our end, so that if it is over 20 characters, it automatically gets booted out and replaced with a different keyword. So that will be in place very soon so that you don't run into any kind of 20 character limits. It's just kind of one of those nuanced things that's fun when you start dealing with AI, but we will have that kind of workaround in very soon.
Okay. I will answer this. Does this incorporate the new Etsy guidelines for listings so it's compliant? So we always do our best to be compliant, but this again is something that you need to know what you like your data, right? And how you want to do it, because there are people who do things a little bit different with their titles, tags, and descriptions. And so while yes, we try to make sure that we're safeguarding everyone, we can't assume every responsibility for every single use case. So make sure you understand what the guidelines are and that you are responsibly making listings that are within their guidelines.
Yep, and I see Kara has a good point on that. So I thought that the new titles were suggestions, not requirements. That is true as well, and is still one of those gray areas. When you've worked with Etsy for a long time, you'll find when they roll out something new, they are good at kind of adding in some confusion along the way. So yeah. If you look at a lot of very prominent Etsy sellers, like the Starla Moores and Cassie Johnsons of the world, they are also still kind of recommending to stick with the original way of doing titles.
That's what I'm going to say next.
Etsy came out with these kind of recommendations, but it does not look like Etsy has actually changed their algorithm and is, you know, de-ranking anybody that's using the old way. It does not look like that yet. Now, obviously, we can't say for sure. No one has the magic black box where you can exactly see Etsy's algorithm. But for right now, and from what we're hearing from kind of the Etsy community, is that it's still safe to have your titles kind of in the original mindset, I guess you could say. So
Yes, agreed with all that. Okay, does it set shop section and whether or not you want ads when you're doing your attributes?
it does
I know
not.
you said, oh, does not. Okay.
Nope. So if you have like specific collections you want to add it to, or if you want to turn on ads, that's still something that you want to make sure to manage in Etsy for now.
Okay, it says, what's the append original product title option mean on Rapid Lister?
Yeah, so that was really a bit more important prior to the AI functionality that we have. But you'll see here, let me just upload another image. So we have this append original product title. So you can see at the end here, we have our original product title from the product that we are kind of doing this bulk upload from or rapid list from. So you can toggle that on and off to change whether or not that title is included in the new title or not. So that would come in handy if you're not using AI for some reason and you have your initial product listed as like unisex t-shirt and you want that title included in your future titles, you can include that if you want to on the end. But when you use the AI, like I showed earlier, you don't need to even worry about that functionality.
That's funny. That's like a dinosaur bone. You just found a dinosaur bone in APOD. There are some things that I'll sometimes come across me like, what is that? And Chris will be like, oh, that's from when this happened. But now we're like way past that. I gotta deal with that. So, okay, Jen Hatfield, guys, she is like a superstar seller and has been for many, many years. She's been in my community and Chris's community forever. So I'm going to give a big shout out to her. She says, I'll be batch uploading my new ornaments tonight that I was putting off for weeks. So
there you go.
I believe it. And she'll probably get it done in like 2 minutes because she really just is a superstar. Okay. Melissa asks, can you rapid list designs from Canva? I usually create new designs in the same page. Good question. And Chris has a good answer.
So right now, the best option to do that would be to download all of those as a PNG. So you can download those in bulk. We do plan with our kind of rapid lister updates that we've been talking about to be able to do the rapid list directly from the Canva integration with the multiple pages. But for now, you can download those, and it'll download them all at once. So if you're designing in kind of one design in Canva, just on multiple pages, and you've got 20 pages, when you go to download, you can have it download all 20 pages at once, and it'll download them all, so you don't have to download them one at a time at all.
Okay. Duffy asks, if you have multiple variants for each of the nurse designs, would you do this bulk with the main design, one of each, and then go into each one of these products and add the variants in the specific product?
So it kind of depends on what your variants are, right? So if your variants are different products, like in this case, I've got a t-shirt. If I also had a sweatshirt and a hoodie, but I have the same design, then when I do the rapid lister, it is going to apply that same design on every product. So I don't have to go in and make any additional edits. If my variants are different artwork, like I've got, NICU nurse listed here. Maybe if I had one that was, more, what do you want to say, like masculine colors, and I had two different variations of the same artwork, then when you do the rapid list, it's going to replace them both, and you can just go in then and edit the second one. Same if you're doing like light and dark colors. Right now, it's going to replace both of those images, and then you can go back in and make any changes that you want to after that. So you'd swap out then the second one. We do, as I mentioned earlier, kind of have plans to make that easier to manage when you have multiple artwork on one product. But for right now, that'd be the best way to do it.
Okay. Joan says, "Holy moly, a lot for a newbie." And Joan, yes, it is very overwhelming when you're starting and you're like, "Oh my gosh, there's all these pieces of the puzzle to put together." But I promise you that there will be a point where you'll learn this and you will hear other people talk about doing it the old way or the manual way, and you'll be like, "Oh, I'm glad if I was going to put time into learning something, I learned how to click buttons and didn't learn how to have 5 different softwares and do the downloads and the uploads and the this and the that." This process is very simple. You just need to practice. That's the important thing, is just do this a few times. And then when you have those questions, reach out to support, join our Facebook group, ask those questions, because really there is no other way that you could do this more simply. So yes, even though there's overwhelm on the other side of this, this is the easiest way to learn. You're going to have to learn one way of doing it, right? Or you're going to have to learn that somehow. So you might as well learn this, go through that learning curve doing this, because it is the easiest way. Okay,
So
Patricia said,
as somebody
sorry.
that's new, each one of these things that we showed, like, you're gonna have to do anyway, right? Like, you're gonna have to create your mockups. You're gonna have to set your Etsy attributes. You're gonna have to come up with your SEO, all of that. But with the way we showed it, you only have to do that stuff once, right? So like, you create your mockup once and then it's done for you. So you're kind of creating your mockup either way. It's just that with this, it is able to more automate the process instead. So.
Okay, let's get some. We have a few hands up, so let's get to those people. Patricia, thanks for waiting. Do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Thank you. So I blinked and I think I missed the whole bulk creation designs and all that. So if you could just, kind of walk through the steps where you went from, you went to Etsy and you created this one design, and then you came back here, and then all of a sudden you went to the multiple designs and you used the rapid lister. That's where I blinked and I lost what you were doing. So how did you get
to my designs? I already had created, so I didn't go through creating each design one by one here. So I already had my designs created. I used some AI tools to create these designs.
And where did you have them on a product already? Did you create multiple products for them, or just had them in your library?
Nope, I just had them downloaded on my computer as a PNG. So when you come in here to the rapid lister and you go to choose files here, you can upload all of your PNG files that you have for any of the designs that you want to kind of use in the rapid lister.
Okay, and then so you uploaded those to the rapid lister, and then where did you click? Just the rapid lister there?
Yes, the rapid lister here at the top. Yep, and then choose files, and then you upload them all from there.
Okay, and then when you hit submit, that's how it created all the products?
Yes, you got it. Yep.
Okay, now I got it. Thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, Jackie.
Hello, guys. Hey, Chris, I kind of asked you this when you were on Mandy's call, so it's going to sound a little bit familiar, but it wasn't in regard to rapid lister though. That when I asked you, it was just kind of generic, and I thought I understood when you answered me. But now I'm a little bit confused again. So let's take the nurse niche, for example. So with this, you can have big graphics like you've got, right? But minimalist designs are very, very popular right now. So if you wanted to do, let's just say the big graphic that you've got there is 14 inches wide, for example, and you wanted to do a minimalist NICU nurse on a shirt that's about 8 inches wide. How would we do that? Because I feel like the mock-ups that we've already put the design on, let's just say it's an ivory mock-up, an ivory model, and we've got her with a 14-inch, NICU nurse big graphic, but now we want to put a little one across her chest, about 8 inches wide. How would that work if we already set it up on a bigger 14-inch wide design? I don't understand that, and that's why I'm saying, do we need to just set up maybe flat lays or another ivory mock-up with a very small, not wide minimalist design thing?
So when you set up your mock-up template, the artwork that you're placing, that kind of blue box area that you're placing, is the entire available design area here that is available for the product. So this whole thing, say, is 14 inches. If I wanted this smaller, like if I just moved this kind of center chest and I wanted this to be a more minimalist design, it's gonna make that smaller in relation to my overall design area, but then it's still going to be that overall design area that gets placed on the shirt. So this smaller area would still get placed in the correct position on each one of the mock-up templates that I have created.
I get that when you're just doing a design like a one-off design, but that would work for rapid listing too.
Yes, so it's going to keep the when you do the rapid list. So like if I'm doing minimalist designs, I would create one like in the position that I want, right? So if I go with my original positioning and I have this filling the full place area, when I do the rapid lister, it's going to replace the design in the same area that my original one is located. So in this case, it's going to try to size it and have it take up the full print area. So it's going to be the full 14 inches. So if you're doing a minimalist design that's more like 10 inches, create an initial product that's in the position that you want. And then when you use the rapid lister, it's going to apply that exact same position to each one of the designs that you upload.
That's why I was talking. It's important to kind of work in batches of like very similar items to make this work.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Because I don't think you can do.
But your mock-ups and everything are all going to come through correctly and be set up. You won't need to make any changes there. But if you want, same thing if I was doing like a pocket design is kind of a little bit easier to think, right? So like if I wanted something just on the pocket, just kind of over here on the left chest, I would want to create an initial product that I can kind of use as a template with that same positioning. My mock-ups and everything will all generate correctly, but since my artwork positioning is going to be different than the full size of the product, then you would position that then kind of separately on here over to the side. The other thing you can do is if you're designing in 4200 by 4800 in Canva, even if you're doing a minimalist design, you can create your design at that 4200 by 4800, and inside of that 42 by 48, you would position your artwork where you want it to be. So either the minimalist or the pocket or whatever the case is, and then it's fine for it to then take up the whole area. So that would be the other idea.
No, that's a good idea. The pocket is another great example, Chris, because what I usually do in Canva, I go the whole 42 by 48 across, even if it's going to be minimalist, because if I go to Printify, I'm going to make it smaller, make it 8 inches, 9 inches, whatever it is, right? But that's another great example, because that's the whole thing. I want to set and forget and make your product my virtual assistant. That's basically what I'm looking for. It's going to take care of all the dirty, grungy work for me.
Exactly.
So here's my question, guys. So if you are now you had a great point, Anna, about batching, like keeping it similar. But let's just say what Chris is saying is, we have a mock-up already set up for that, wider, not as wide, like let's say 8 inches wide. When we are doing rapid lister, is the system picking it based on the design, like the mock-up, or am I going in and saying, nope, I want this one? Let's say I have 10 ivory shirts. Do I go in there and pick out which ivory shirt I want for the minimalist design while the other shirts are just being populated with the bigger design?
It's going to keep the same 10 mockups that you created and had selected on your initial one. It's going to create and select all of the same mockups that you had on your initial one. So if you're using different, if you have different mockup templates that you use for each, then you would want to create the kind of one as a template with the mockups that you want to use, and then you can when you do the rapid lister, then it's going to select those same mockups for you every time.
Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I went on mute. Yes. All right, so the rapid lister, you kind of have to have the same ones going over and over.
Yep, it's going to select the same ones for you each time. Yep.
Good. Thanks.
Pauline, do you have a question?
Hold on, sorry. I want to answer this question because it kind of continues from that. Does it work for personalization?
Yes, it does. So as I said, it replaces the first non-personalized image in all of your designs, right? So in this case, if I had this design here, and then I had a text field here at the bottom for a name, it's going to keep that text field at the bottom, and it's just going to replace the design above it. So we see a lot of people doing this, especially on like ornaments and journals and that sort of thing. If you're doing personalization, but you need that text box in a different area, you can still use the rapid lister and then just go in and edit that artwork and move the text however or wherever you need to move it to.
Well, and what about using it with like the AI effects, photo effects?
It would keep your same photo effect, like image on there. Yeah. So you could, I don't think there's as big of a use case to do it when you're using AI photo effects though.
Okay. Pauline, thank you for your patience. You want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I'm kind of new to this, so this is more of a general question. So when you're creating a new product, you know, when you're signing up with Shine On, you create the product there, and then it goes to my Shopify store, and now I'm adding APOD to it, to design. I'm a little confused as to where I should do the main designing, and it will sync to the other, like back to my Shopify or whatever. Like, do I design in APOD and then it will sync to my Shopify store?
Yep.
And
So
then-
you will, if you're wanting to use AnywherePOD, you will design like in Canva or whatever, like you normally would. But then instead of creating your products inside of Printify or Shine On, you'll create your products inside of AnywherePOD, and then you'll publish those products to either Shopify or to Etsy. Dee, did you have a question there too?
Yeah, real quick. First of all, thank you guys. It's great. I hope you'll do many more. Newbie here. But Annie, you mentioned communities. You said Chris and your communities. Can you expand a little bit about what communities we may can get involved in to help out as far as learning the processes and all these things?
Yes. So, I mean, in general, what Anna was referring to was the like AnywherePOD community at large, I would call it. So we do, besides trainings like this, we also do YouTube lives occasionally. And then we also have our Facebook community page, which that is listed in the bottom left of your account. So here in the menu, there is the Facebook group here. So we kind of have a community there as well to kind of be able to help share and get help from each other there as well too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we have interest in having more education options available. It's just, you know, one step at a time.
Sure. Yeah, I just didn't know if there were other specific communities, but thank you so much again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Jessica.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So I have two questions. One, how would you designate like different thumbnails so that you don't have the same thumbnail picture for all of your reference listings?
So most of the time people actually would use the same mockups and the same primary image. So that's going to get carried over to each product that gets created with the rapid lister. If you want to use something different, like if you want to use, switch up your primary image, you can go in and edit that product then and change what image is the primary at any time after that.
So would I change it here or change it on the actual Etsy listing?
Either way.
Okay. And then secondly, when creating the mockups, what if, you know how you have like a front pocket of a sweatshirt, right? And you have a design on the back side. How would you generate that kind of mockup?
So if you want them both on the
same, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So your mockup would just have to have both the front and the back. And when you go to add that mockup, you'll see both image options listed at the top. You'll see your front design and you'll see your back design. You'll just click on that and it'll add it to the mockup and then generate correctly for you every time.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, back to the chat. Jen asks, can you rapid list the bundle items like deco plate, dinnerware sets?
You can, so it will generate all of your variants correctly. So if you have, like, if you're doing the placemat, the plate, the bowl, the cup, silverware, and you have all that on one listing, it'll create all of those variants. It will not create, if you're also doing like bundles where they can get the entire place setting at once, it won't copy over that bundle. So you would need to recreate that bundle, but all of the other settings and setup for it will get copied over.
Okay, I guess what I'm asking is, if you're doing a bulk listing, don't your tags for each product and same titles, does it automatically change the title and keyword for each different product?
Yes. So when we did that rapid lister and we used that AI tool, it gave us a unique title, tag, and description for each product based on our research and based on the research data that we uploaded. So it combined all of that together and created a unique set of all of those based on the design that we uploaded for each one.
Okay, Pamela says, so for now it's necessary to do all the same types of products in Rapid Lister.
So you are essentially duplicating from an initial product, right? So it's going to keep all of my product settings that I have on this initial product that I created here. So in this case, it's a t-shirt. So when I do the rapid lister, it's going to create all, new t-shirt products for me. If I have other products on the same listing, so if I'm doing, say, t-shirts and sweatshirts, when I use the rapid lister, it's going to copy over all of those variant options for me as well, and all those are going to connect through for me.
Let's see here. Okay. Odessa asked, did you say the rapid lister works if there are dark text and light text designs for the same listing?
Yes, I saw a couple questions on that. So you can still use the rapid lister, but it's not going to swap out both pieces of artwork for you yet. So if you have light artwork and dark artwork, when you do the rapid lister, it is going to replace them both with whatever you upload in the rapid lister. But you can then go into that individual product and update that. So it's still faster than creating them kind of one-off manually. But you will need to go in and make that replacement on that kind of second image, whatever the opposite is of what you uploaded, so that you can get both lights and darks on there. It'll just be a matter of editing then that artwork.
Is there a limit on the number of items you can bulk upload with the rapid lister?
So there is not a hard limit for most suppliers. There is for Teen Launch, just because their mockup system is a little bit more touchy than some of the others. So there's not a hard limit, but I generally recommend working in batches of like 20 to 50 or so, depending on how many variants you have. For example, you can run into some limits on Printify that can be a little bit hard to judge because it depends on how many variants that you have. So that 20 to 50 range is usually very safe and makes it a bit easier to work in that size of batches for everything that comes through. So.
Okay, we have a few questions, I think, when it comes to like titles and tags, Etsy versus Shopify. So I'll take this one. Shopify sellers are usually a little bit different in that they are driving traffic through to their store through ads. And if that's the case, you don't really need as optimized titles and tags the way you do in Etsy, because you're just driving your own traffic to that listing. Now, you could have a strategy where you're building more of a overall brand, and maybe you're trying to do that organically. And so you're going to be using keywords that people are typing into the search bar to find that product. And maybe you're doing like blog posts and Instagram and driving traffic that way. If that's the case, then you can use e-rank data. Keywords Everywhere is another great tool that's really common with Shopify users. And you can use the CSV as well in that case. Okay, once you use Rapid Lister, will all the new listings be in draft section on Etsy?
Yes, so you can select when you do the Rapid Lister if you want to send them to your Etsy drafts right away, or you can, if you have more changes you want to make in AnywherePOD first, you can make the changes in AnywherePOD and then publish them to your Etsy drafts. So you have that kind of flexibility.
Amazing. When you have a master for t-shirt and hoodie, but want to do a new product for just a t-shirt, will Rapid Lister still work for this individual product?
Yes, but I would probably be easier to start from a product that is already just a t-shirt than trying to use the one that has your t-shirt and your hoodie. You could still do it and then just delete your hoodie variations from the product would be the other way that you could do it. But I would probably create one that I could kind of use as a template that was just t-shirts. So when I want to create just a t-shirt listing, I kind of have a template to use for that. And when I want to do ones that have t-shirts and sweatshirts, I kind of have a template then that I can use for that.
Okay. Someone asked earlier, yes, this is a question about if you make a change in your listing, does it Phil's using the word echo back and forth. So like if you made a change on your Shopify store or Etsy listing, will AnywherePOD pick that back up and make the change in APOD?
It does not. So most of the information that you change in Etsy won't import back into AnywherePOD, except for what I showed earlier with like the attributes and things that will kind of get set behind the scenes. So it doesn't kind of import back that way. If you make a change in AnywherePOD and you want to update that in Etsy or Shopify, you can select what pieces you want to update. So this is going the other direction from AnywherePOD to your store. If I go to update listing, then I can select here exactly which elements that I want to update. So maybe if I've added variations in AnywherePOD, but I've made changes to my title or description in Etsy or Shopify, I don't want to overwrite that information. So you can select what pieces you want to update then.
Yeah, so the way I like to look at AnywherePOD is it's really your hub. It's like, this is your dashboard, if you were in sales, it's like your CRM. It's where you want to work from because it does simplify the process, having everything in one spot. So I would really try to have that mental shift of like, this is where I come back to everything. Because as you start to learn more just through practice, you're going to see there's lots of flexibility built into every step of the way, from your listing creations to adding more to the listing if you wanted to orders, to changing, adjusting mockups. There's always flexibility built in here. So I really recommend using this as kind of like what Jackie said, like use it as your VA, use it as your place to always work from. And that will make this process much easier for you. Speaking of, on a side note, we do have VA access. This is the only place I've ever heard of this being possible, where you can actually you can get a separate login for your VA. Make sure I'm saying this right, Chris.
Yep.
And they can then work in your shop without ever getting into your shop on Etsy. And that has been a problem for years. People are like, I want a VA, but you had to give them your Etsy access. Shopify, you can give your VA access to your shop, limited access. But yeah, with AnywherePOD with Etsy, you can actually have somebody work on your shop without giving them any sensitive details or just handing them over their shop. So we've heard some horror stories of people having disgruntled VAs who take down their shops. We solved that problem for you. So, okay, Stacy says, I have 3 people interested in joining. Woohoo! Can you please confirm if code bootcamp30 will get them the first month free if they sign up by Friday? And so, yes, guys, if you have not signed up for AnywherePOD, now is the time. You can get our highest tier, Pro Plus, free for 30 days, which is perfect timing because it's officially Q4. We're here, we've arrived. So yes, you can share that with friends if you want. They can get a free month, and that would be great. So if you have not joined, please do. Yeah, I think that kind of covers that. Join. What are you waiting for?
Yep, absolutely. So that'll give you, as Anna said, 30 days for free. Or if you're ready to lock in to the yearly, you can get an additional $40 off the already discounted yearly plan as well. You will want that Pro Plus for a lot of the features that we showed throughout these days, all of the AI functionality, the Canva integrations, the mockup templates, all of that you need that Pro Plus subscription for, which is only the monthly fee. We never charge anything for orders. We're kind of unique in that regard, where we're not charging anything for orders or for listings or anything like that. So if you haven't signed up yet, make sure to take advantage of that Bootcamp 30 coupon code. It expires on Friday, which is also my birthday. So go sign up for my birthday, guys.
Yay! Happy birthday. Okay, we're going to keep going through these questions now. I'm going to try and keep them still relevant to Rapid Lister. I have the list of more general questions about APOD, so we'll get to those here soon. So Mike asked, can you show us again what the file should look like for keywords? Or does it just need to show the keywords only to upload to the AI generator?
So long answer short, it can be anything you want, right? So that CSV file, the one that I uploaded, it was one that I exported directly from eRank, because eRank includes, when you do your favorites list in eRank, it includes all the research data along with it, which is really cool, because then you can have the AI select keywords that have low competition, high search volume, that sort of thing, which is really nice. Or you can create your own CSV file with your own keywords, and it'll use those. Or if you just have your keywords in, like a text file or in a list somewhere, you can just copy and paste those into the prompt. So really, it's completely flexible. Any of those methods are gonna supply the AI with that data. So it's really just a matter of what data you want to supply to the AI to be able to use.
Does the bulk lister work if I have 3 variants, for example, 3 different types of ornaments?
Yes, it will. So if you are doing, like when they say 3 different types of ornaments, so I've got ceramic, glass, and metal, and I'm giving the customer the choice of what type of ornament they want. When I use the Rapid Lister, it's going to replace that first image for each piece of artwork that's assigned to each ornament. So it will work in that case, absolutely.
Okay, this is a good one. Are there bulk editing features in APOD that can be used once the product has been listed? For example, add a new mockup to the batch or change the description to the batch.
So we don't have bulk editing functionality like that yet. Some of that you can do inside of Etsy now. So Etsy has quite a bit of bulk editing functionality kind of built in there in Etsy. Would be one option. So it kind of depends a little bit on what you are looking to kind of bulk change there.
Okay, we have a question about using the basic plan in APOD. Ashley says, will I still be able to publish the same products I already created for Shopify to my Etsy shop, or will I need to recreate those listings?
Yes, so if you subscribe to Etsy and Shopify and you have them both connected to the same store in AnywherePOD, you can create the listing once and publish to either store. On your basic plan question, you're going to want, if you're using Etsy and Shopify, you're going to want both of those to be on the same subscription level, since they are sharing products and sharing features. You will need both of them. So if you can't have like Shopify on Pro Plus and Etsy on Basic, that's not going to work. You're going to need both of those to be on the Pro Plus plan to have access to all the features.
So guys, I'm like 30 minutes behind on questions, but it looks like we've covered a lot of things here. I'm going to just open this up now to just the general Q&A. I think we've pretty much covered everything we can in Rapid Lister. I'd really encourage you to rewatch the replay and just, you know, make the ugliest designs that you want and just practice using this. Like, don't get so hung up on like, I'm trying to get all the best design listings out, because you don't even have to publish them. I would say just do your best to try and use the things that you've learned during this workshop, because everything's fresh on our minds right now, and get through that learning curve quickly. And if you just do this a few times, I think also these designs were in our design pack, right?
You read my mind. I was just getting ready to say that. Yes, if you
Yes,
download
so
it,
you don't even need to create the designs. We have given them to you. So if you have not been following along with us here, follow along with the design pack, just to get through this. You can delete them out of your shop when you're done, but go through practicing. Don't just listen and then be like, I don't know what to do now. You know what to do. You can do this. It's super simple. Just practice, and this will help you go a long way.
Yes. So included in there is the designs, the mockups, the CSV file, everything that we did today, plus probably a little bit more. So those are all in there. So you can use those to kind of practice with. You will see that the design sizes are like a lower quality. That's kind of on purpose, because we don't want or intend anybody to actually sell these designs, because that would be against Etsy's policy, of course. But they are there and available to use for kind of practice and for kind of just walking through and following along. So definitely encourage you to go do that for sure.
Okay, Kara asks, can you A/B test the same product twice with different keywords easily in APOD?
So the easiest way most of the time to do A/B testing is to actually duplicate the listing inside of Etsy. That's going to keep all of your SKUs and everything the same. When you get an order, the right SKU is still going to be on it. Orders and everything are going to import correctly for you. So most of the time, it's a bit easier just to duplicate that in Etsy, swap out the few things that you want to A/B test, and then you're kind of all set from there.
Okay, Odessa asks, any talks with Kittle on incorporating artwork like you do Canva?
Yes, I have had several conversations with Kittle, and they are working on some things that hopefully will come to fruition in the coming months. But yes, we would love to have an integration similar to what we have with Canva, and have had, like I said, a few conversations with them already. So hopefully that is something that will be able to be in the works.
Okay, Patty asked, is it easy to take a current active Etsy product and add personalization? For example, name on back of shirt.
Yeah, so you can edit your artwork in AnywherePOD at any time. Right now, you can't add a new print area. So if you were only selling with the front, then you wanted to add a back, you wouldn't be able to add that back onto an existing product. You would need to create a new product for that. But you can edit your artwork and add personalization at any time.
Okay, so just a couple comments that I love. So Kimberly said, I started using APOD approximately September 9th, and I'm using it heavily. You'll get there. Yeah, just the use is important. It sounds like Kimberly is going to add to this. Do you want to unmute yourself? Maybe you do have a question. Unmute yourself either way.
Hi guys. Hi Anna. Hi Chris. To the newbies who are overwhelmed right now, I was you, but it was only 3 weeks ago. And I mean, Chris, you can attest to the work we did together. I made a bunch of mistakes in the beginning. Now I'm a complete convert. I'm an advocate for this product, and I use it 100%. I don't do it the old way. So I would say it took me about 2 weeks to settle in. You know, like I was doing other stuff in the meantime too. Like, it's like I didn't just do this.
Sure.
Knowing what I know now, I would have put everything else aside, focused solely on getting up to speed on this, and then proceeded from there. But I didn't know better, right? Like I was trying to still do it the old way and learn Anywhere POD at the same time.
Sure. And to be fair, you know, when you first started, Kimberly, you didn't have the advantage that, you know, people watching now have of seeing and having this replay of these 3-day boot camps. So if you take the time to follow along with what we did the last couple of days and or what we did today, I would take it in chunks. So if you're wanting to do personalization, follow along yesterday's. If you're like more into this rapid lister and you got a lot of stuff you want to list, follow along with what we did today. But I think that is going to help you get up to speed, you know, even faster.
Absolutely.
Having this kind of training there. So.
If I had this boot camp, it would have taken me a fraction of the time to get up to speed. And so I think it was Joan who was speaking earlier on, and I was just reassuring her, you're going to get there because I'm here. And it's really, it's been a short span of time. I did have a question. So while I'm here, I'll ask it. You touched earlier on the attributes, that the Etsy, updating the Etsy listing attributes.
Right.
So I did that, and I made a mistake on one of the fields. Is there and so what I heard from you is once it's there, it's just the way it is, and then I have to fix it in Etsy. There's no way to edit that.
No, so if you went into Etsy, you set your attributes, you sync those back to AnywherePOD, and then you realize, oh, there's something as a mistake that I made or something I wish I would have set different. Just on your newest product that you have in your products list in AnywherePOD, update that in Etsy and use this sync listing details again, and it'll update that on that listing, and then it'll carry over for any future ones that you do.
Oh, good to know. Okay, perfect. Thank you guys very much. That's it.
Yep, you bet. You bet. And thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yes. I love what Melissa says. She says, as a newbie, this takes away so much time. Oh, so much time. Sorry, my chat just scrolled off where I was. Where did it go? I think she was saying like this saves so much time of learning. And it's true. Like everything that you do, you have to choose. Do you want to do it manually with 5 different tools? Or do you want to do it all in one spot where it's streamlined, where you're doing some of it, you're setting it up completely literally one time, and then it automatically generates while you're working on the rest of the stuff? Or just do it the old way where everything's manual. And so you really truly are saving a ton of time learning this. So AnywherePOD, it is a tool, but it really is a way of doing print on demand. It's a way of, it's a process. And so I like to also look at it as that way is there are tools out there, but none of it creates a process for you that gets streamlined and makes it all come together so simply. But AnywherePOD does that. And that's where I would say, sure, you can keep using those other tools. If you love them, go for it. But you can't really beat a streamlined process here and being able to rapid list. And guys, if you don't have to use all these features, like we showed it to you, so you're aware of what's out there. Like, you know, Jen has used AnywherePOD forever, and I saw a comment like, oh, I didn't know that, you know. So we're doing this because there is a lot here that a lot of people didn't know, but you don't have to use every feature. You don't need to immediately jump into variations. You don't need to do personalization. There are shops that have 0 personalization, but to be able to bulk upload with the rapid lister is a huge time saver, because now you can just fill in everything and have your designs uploaded in just, you know, a couple clicks. So, you know, just think of where you're at and what your goals are, and just make that next step and put into practice what you're like, I want to improve this. And then it will keep building from there as you get more experience. So, okay, somebody did ask, do I need to have the top tier to be able to sign up for the AI function?
Yes. So the mockup templates, the AI functionality, the Canva integration, all that type of stuff is only available on the Pro Plus level of plans.
Yes. Okay. For those of you guys asking, I prefer eRank for my keyword research tool. Just go to earring.com. We don't have an affiliate account with them.
I dropped a link in there. I can drop it again too.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. Phil, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Phil.
Hey, lucky 47. That's my lucky number, Chris. Happy birthday.
Awesome.
I saw
Thanks.
I saw the e-rank list link. Chris 47.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yes, Anna, I'm at your beck and call. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, yes.
I was waiting for you.
Do
I
you
had
have
several questions,
a question? You just had your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I've had several questions actually in there, and I'd have to go back and ask all of them. But I wanted to clarify, or have you clarify, I think what Pauline or Diana was saying earlier on, that a listing, if you set up a listing in APOD, say for a shine-on ceramic, and you push that to Etsy or you push it to Shopify, whichever one, the question came over and the answer came back like it was a pipe or an echo between the platform of the supplier, i.e. in this case Shine-On, and APOD. And it was kind of described as between the selling platform like Shopify or Etsy with your APOD account. What I wanted to clarify, I'm pretty sure because I've asked this already, if you design a single listing for, say, a ceramic with Shine-On, there's no feed-in back to Shine-On when you've created that product in APOD. Just because you pushed it to Shopify, the synchronization is between APOD and Shopify. That product that you created on APOD will not show up in your Shine-On account. Correct, Chris?
Correct, especially with Shine-On. So they don't. There wouldn't be a reason to. When you create a product in AnywherePOD, that product kind of lives then in AnywherePOD. So there's not like a separate product that gets created in Shine-On, especially since so many of the products that get created in AnywherePOD are personalized. Then when an order comes in, we send the order over to that's when the sync kind of to Shine-On happens. Is we send the order over to Shine-On with the correct product and whatever the newest updated artwork is that's inside of AnywherePOD at that time on the order.
Yeah, and before my next question, which is much shorter and off subject actually, the reason I asked that back a few months ago is because one of my friends overseas, I'm in South Carolina, even though I don't sound like it, had a catastrophic server failure. So, you know, if APOD went down or I went down or whatever, where would I go? Well, it's a Shine-On product, so it's going to be in my Shine-On account, right? But that doesn't happen. So there is a Shine-On app called a Shopify app called Rewind. It's cheap too, and it'll perform your backups for your Shopify store daily. And trust me, you will not want to face getting backup from scratch with your Shopify store. So if there's any money to be well spent, besides APOD, because Chris said no twice during the last 3 days, and that's not good. So my question off subject, Anna, is, I think you may have answered it. If I have a VA, and I know Jennifer Hatfield is going to touch base with me later on, she kindly commented, if you have a VA in APOD, you can add team members, which is awesome. Nobody has, very few platforms or in the POD space anyway, have anything like that. That's a powerful feature right from the start because it duplicates yourself.
Yep.
It's my understanding you can't do that in Etsy. Is that right, Anna? You can only have one email in Etsy because my VA is potentially 10 hours or 7 hours. I haven't decided yet. Ahead of me. In other words, not in the States, somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a good question. So Yeah, Etsy, I don't know if there's anything actually ever written about this, but it's pretty clear that Etsy doesn't want you to have a bunch of logins going into your account, and it has caused problems. Now, does it always 100%? No, I've heard people who have their VAs logging into their Etsy accounts and it's fine, but there's enough evidence that it causes problems enough that people are pretty wary of letting almost anybody in. And so what this allows you to do is you don't even need to have somebody access your Etsy account. There'll be a team member in AnywherePOD and they'll be able to do everything here. So Etsy would never even know that you had a VA.
Right,
That
but one has still got to get access to the shop because there's still some things that have to be done, as Chris pointed out, inside of Etsy. And so for quality purposes alone, I want to delegate as much as I can without getting involved and interrupted, especially during time zones and what have you. So, I think, am I right in saying if that VA is in a country that does not have an affiliation to set up an Etsy account, clearly that to me would be a no-no. But would I have to set up a VPN with a different DNS for my VA to log into my account?
So where I get particularly nervous about giving VA access directly to Etsy stores is Etsy tracks all of that information and you don't know what other stores that VA might be working on, right? So if they're working on another store that's doing who knows what, that maybe goes against something that's against Etsy's policies, and then their store gets shut down and they see through your VA's access that it is in some way connected to your store, that can then cause issues with your store. So I would be very leery on giving them any kind of access to my Etsy store. I do know and have heard of some people going the VPN route and setting that up with VAs. I probably would avoid getting into specifics on that because you do get into a little bit of dicey territory of the what ifs and what can happen there that I would just be leery of myself.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Linda just answered that she does not allow VPNs. So I find that really inconvenient. It like squashes, as we're expanding here, we need help. If we think we can do everything ourselves, except get up in the morning and turn the computer on and then say, go AnywherePOD, and then come back in the night, see what it's done. That's the next step with you guys. If you get any more powerful, we won't even need to turn our computers on. But that's a problem. This Etsy thing is a problem for me because I'm an early newbie Etsy. Chris knows my Shopify and my technical and coding background. Etsy's, for me, it's so non-intuitive and cumbersome, and APOD takes 80-90% out of it, and I appreciate everything that you guys do.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's still just those limitations with Etsy. So I would have my VA do as much as possible in AnywherePOD, and if there's that last 5 or 10% that you need to do, work out processes there where you can still handle those as needed. Would probably be what I would recommend there. So,
but this will probably be your best option.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks very much for your input, and thanks, Linda.
Yep.
Thanks, Phil. Okay, we're gonna go back. Sorry, guys, this is from a while ago. Laura had asked, so you're just.
Sorry to interrupt, Anna. Did you answer the question about the echo going from APOD back to Shine On? Am I right in saying that can't exist with any supplier?
So right. So it won't. When you create a product in AnywherePOD, it does not create a product in Shine On.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Okay. Laura asked, so you this was me talking about using APOD kind of as like your motherboard, your like central work from everywhere, and she said, so you're saying just to make everything through APOD, even if not using personalization? Yes, I would do this. There are shops that are not personalized at all. So this is just as much as a tool for streamlining organization and speed workflow as it is for personalization if you want to add it. We just know personalization opens up some new opportunities. People look for personalization, but there are dozens and hundreds of thousands of stores that have zero personalization. So you definitely still want to use AnywherePOD.
Yep.
Okay, if you add a personalized text box to a design in APOD, and then click the toggle in Etsy that says make personalization optional, does that remove the text box from the design if they did that? That makes sense.
No, that does not change anything in AnywherePOD. So you can have in an Etsy, you can have personalization be optional. Most of the time, though, that tends to cause a bit of confusion because if you have personalization as optional, customers can check out without actually adding personalization. So that can then cause some customer service headaches if you do decide to do that. You can, but it does, you know, you just have to kind of watch out for that then and be ready to deal with that. So, but no, that changing that in Etsy will not change your design at all in AnywherePOD.
Suda asked, if you use a design that only has a picture with no text, with the will AI still recognize the different designs?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it's reading when you use the AI generation for title tags and descriptions. It is scanning your full artwork. So whether there's text in it or not, it's still able to read that design and understand what that design is.
We had some questions about where to find the design pack. I'm pretty sure you put it in the descriptions in the videos, correct?
Yes, it should be on the replays. I can go find that while you're pulling up the next question too, and I'll drop that link in. It was also in the emails that we sent out.
Yes. We will also have these replays just available. We don't plan on taking them down for anything. Let's see here. Some people have some questions about the coupon code not working or applying it in a different way. I would recommend reaching out to support@anywherepod.com and we can help take care of that if you're having struggles or questions about your specific situation. Okay. I have eRank and never downloaded a CSV file before. Just tried it and put phone case in the keyword tool, clicked export, then download CSV. I open the CSV and it's all the information that AI needs to pull the keywords according to your prompt. Will be a huge time saver for sure. Yeah, I like had found that feature like a couple years ago and Chris and I were talking and that's how like this thing came about. I don't know, like I had said something about it. He's like, wait, what? What was that? Like, can you show it to me? Send me a video. Show me how that's done. And that's how Rapid Lister was born.
Yep. And hopefully soon we won't even have to use the word CSV. So we're in talks with all of the major research tools to be able to have that direct integration. So you'll be able to go through, do your favorites list, import that directly to AnywherePOD and not have to mess with any kind of files or anything.
Yeah. Brian, he just posted this question. If I'm guessing you can unmute yourself. It'll probably be the same question. Oh, maybe he's not. Okay, I will answer it. He says, is there a video link to show how to use the keyword research tool? eRank is probably what you're referencing. So we don't have anything with APOD that shows you how to use it. I would recommend just doing the eRank tutorial online. Pretty simple. What I like to look for are keywords in the green. If you can, the more green it can be, generally that's good. High competition, or sorry, not high competition, high search volume, low competition in the green are the three things you're looking for. Brian, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you very much. Great job, by the way. Love the tool. No, I was referring to inside AnywherePOD, there was a keyword. And you guys had a video on it somewhere, but I lost where it was. But you can upload your CSV files of all your keywords that section. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so might be conflating a couple of different things. So we do have a Etsy Analyzer tool here in AnywherePOD that will help find top performing tags and some listing data here, and even some kind of competitor analysis. If you click on this kind of how-to video here, it's linked here inside of the Etsy Analyzer, and then also right here, it'll walk you through kind of how that system works as well.
Got it. Thank you, Chris.
Yep, you bet.
Thanks, Brian, for clarifying that.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. If we have our own video, can we upload it into a template or product in APOD?
So right now, if you have your own video, the best way to get that onto your listing is just to upload that directly inside of Etsy would be your best option there.
Okay, question off of yesterday's replay. Can you have multiple variants in the Canva frame ornament listing to show in preview? Like yesterday's says mom, but could your listing be mom, Mimi, etc. to pick from?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So you just add each one of those as a variant, have the customer be able to select which one they want, mom, Mimi, Nana, whatever the case may be. You can absolutely do that. Yep.
Okay. Kirsten just asked, has anyone used APOD to publish listings for personalized blankets, including variants with different fabrics? I'm a total newbie, so trying to envision how I'd use APOD to do those listings since they seem more complex with the various mockups, blanket sizes. And to add to that, we did have somebody ask about mockups, which is, well, actually, okay, not related, but we'll let you answer that. Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, so you absolutely can. So doing different blanket types like that, you would just add those as a variation and then update your variants. So the sizing is going to be similar between them. Your woven blankets are a little bit different. They have a little bit different sizing, but your the sizing on your other ones, like if you're doing like a coral fleece or a Sherpa or whatever, those usually come in 3 standard sizes. So those will all work completely fine. But yeah, you can give the customer the choice if they want a woven or a fleece or whatever the different option is, and you can absolutely add those to one listing. One of my favorite strategies that I like on blankets is having coordinating pillows, because it makes for a really easy upsell, right? So if you've got a blanket and then a coordinating pillow that you can throw in along with it, add the pillow as a bundle, so they have the choice if they want just the blanket or the blanket and the pillow. Really is kind of the old, like, would you like fries with that saying, right? To get that upsell. So lots of different strategies there that you can do though.
Also touch on the mockups for blankets, because they are a little bit different.
Yes, and if you check out so here in if you go to, actually it's listed here, when I go to add mockup template, click this how-to video right here is going to walk through blankets as well. So when I get here to blankets and masks right here, this is going to walk through how to do those as well, and how to create the files that you need for that. Because really what you're going to want for your blanket is you're going to need a kind of mask overlay file for that, so you can get the blanket the way you need it. If you are purchasing mockups from somewhere, most of the time they are either already set up where they can work in that way, or with a small edit, they are able to work. So we do get into even kind of editing in Canva to show you how you can make those adjustments inside of Canva to be able to use those mockups and have those mockups work in AnywherePOD. So if you're doing those types of mockups, I'd go watch that. The only other kind of gotcha is when you're creating your blanket mockups, to make sure that you're selecting the right size. So earlier when I was doing the t-shirt, we were selecting from the color. For blankets, you're going to want to make sure to select the corresponding size and make sure that that matches, because like I said, there's kind of 3 different sizes and they're not all the same aspect ratio. So if you get into that and you have any questions with that or anything else, always feel free to reach out to our support. We are more than happy to help make sure you get things set up and working for you. So
Okay. Somebody asked, did Chris add the undo feature during last night? Did you add the undo feature?
No, I think that is Phil being a smart aleck.
Okay. Somebody asked, with the new mockup button, we do not need to put a watermark on top of them. Does it flatten the design on the mockup? I've been taught by other coaches to use a mockup.
So the whole watermark thing is kind of up to you. I know that Etsy does not recommend using watermarks, and I think they even have some checks for that and will not rank you as well if you use watermarks on your mockups. Watermarks are also really easy to remove, so it's not really preventing people from stealing your designs. So generally, we do not recommend using watermarks.
Okay, guys, we're going to just do like a couple more questions and then we'll wrap things up, because I think we've pretty much covered everything over the last 3 days. So yesterday you explained the grandma garden example on the plate. In that case, we saw 6 children and 2 size options. But what if I want to set up 6 children, 5 sizes, and 6 colors? But Etsy only allows 2 variant options. How can I create that listing?
Yes, so when you start getting into more complex things like that, you do need to be mindful of those 2 variant options. You also kind of run into that when you're doing group listings with apparel, right? So you've got color and size already, and now we're adding in t-shirt and hoodies, and also potentially adding in where they can select multiple designs. So usually what you do there is you'll end up combining multiple options into one field, right? So the easy example of that, I go back to apparel just because it's a bit easier to wrap your mind around with just me talking about it. So if you're doing apparel where you're adding t-shirts and sweatshirts, instead of just letting the customer select from small, medium, large, I would add in the product type to that so they can select t-shirt small, t-shirt medium, etc. And same with sweatshirt. So it'd be sweatshirt small, sweatshirt medium, etc. So it'd be a similar type of thing with what you're wanting to do there, where if you need them to select from multiple names and you've got multiple colors, and I forget what the other thing was that you were adding, but you're just going to combine those kind of different options into your variant list. So depending on the product, you can either change those one by one in your variant list, or you can update those variant names in bulk as well with our tool in AnywherePOD.
Okay, I can't see all my products from Shine On in AnywherePOD now that I'm pro. I have to go to their site to do the mockups.
So when you create a product in AnywherePOD, you will have access to all of Shine On's mockups. On a Shine On product, you would see above here, select Shine On mockups, where you can generate any of the mockups that are available then from Shine On. So you don't have to go back to Shine On to create mockups. All of those are available directly inside of AnywherePOD.
Okay, and 2 questions and then we'll wrap it up. Can you go back and reuse a listing you've used previously for Rapid Lister with new images?
Yeah, so you can use this Rapid Lister on any product in your account. So functionality that we've had around for a while, so it's not like new that's only available on new listings. So any listing you have, you can do the Rapid Lister from.
Okay, and then last one, we had some questions about the video generation. Could you just explain how that works?
Yes, so here on a product, just below your mockups, there is the videos here. If we click on generate video, we can select from any mockups that we have in our account. So it does not need to be the same set that we have on the Etsy listing. It can be a new set. So that is really nice because you only have the 10 spots available on Etsy. So if I have more things that I want to show than is available just in those 10 spots, I can come in here and generate any of the, use any of those in my video that I generate. So it's really just a matter of selecting the mockups you want. And then when I click save here, it is going to generate a slideshow style video for me that'll automatically get added to my listing. So it's adding that video for me that way.
Okay. Do you always, but if you're using Rapid Lister, will the video automatically generate?
The video does not automatically generate, mainly because we're letting you select a different set of mockups, which adds a little bit of a layer of complexity to it. But that is something we plan to figure out in the future, where you can have that video auto generate for you as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I am actually going to cover this very last question, and then really we're done, just because I think this is important. It's one we get frequently, and we do have a lot of people that are new to AnywherePOD, but not to print on demand. And that is, if I already have products in my Shopify store, and I'll add Etsy store, I want to start using AnywherePOD. Do I need to create the products as a new product in APOD?
So you do not have to. There is absolutely nothing wrong with leaving your current products set up the way they are and just creating your new listings in AnywherePOD. You don't have to go back and convert any of your existing listings to AnywherePOD if you don't want to. It'll work completely fine. Both of them run at the same time. If there are some products that you want to move over to AnywherePOD, maybe it's one that is selling that now you want to add some variations to. Maybe it's one that has personalization and you're tired of doing it the manual way and you want to use some of our personalization options. You can move that listing over to AnywherePOD without having to create a whole new Etsy listing and losing your ranking and all that sort of thing. So you would create the product like you normally would in AnywherePOD. And then once you have that product created, you can basically convert your existing Etsy listing over to that AnywherePOD product without having to create a new product. So it can be an easy way to move over listings without losing all of your kind of rank history and sales data and all that type of stuff on existing listings.
Okay, guys. AnywherePOD live is complete. I hope you guys had a great 3 days and learned so much. I would love your feedback, and in the chat, let us know what were your favorite moments, what were your aha moments, what are you looking like, what do you want to do next now that you have all this knowledge?
Yeah, and we would love those that information and feedback in our Facebook group too, so that the other people that are in the Facebook group that didn't take the initiative come join, kind of get an idea of what they're missing. So if you want to take a minute and drop into the Facebook group, let them know, maybe a key takeaway that you learned here, or that it was amazing, they need to go check the replay, whatever the case is, go leave that over in the Facebook group. That would be a big help as well. Also, I always forget to remind people that if you are on Shopify, if you wouldn't mind going to the app in Shopify and leave us a review there, that really does help us out quite a bit in kind of getting the word out to everybody. So if you are on Shopify, go over, leave that review for us. Just an honest review is all we ask for, and that would be greatly appreciated there as well.
Yes, awesome. So we're having some really good comments here. So Patricia said, so much more than personalization. Diana said, Rapid Lister for sure, even if I only want to make one more listing for a product. Yeah. Yep. Linda's going to go test the Rapid Lister.
Awesome.
Let's see here. The mockup generation feature is awesome. D said, I'll be living in Replay City. Exciting. Yeah, for sure. Awesome, guys. All right. I'm going to post the links here. So if you are an Etsy user, you will want to go to app.anywherepod.com/register and use coupon code bootcamp30 to register. If you're a Shopify user, I dropped the link for that. That one's apps.shopify.com/anywherepod. You'll also use the same coupon code bootcamp30 to register. Just a reminder, if you are a Etsy and Shopify seller, you do need to have 2 accounts for each one of those platforms. But if you're just on Etsy, you can have, I'm saying something wrong? I can see it. Go ahead, Chris.
So you can use the same account for both Etsy and Shopify, but you do need 2 separate subscriptions. So same account, you can share the same products. You don't have to recreate products or anything, but it is a separate subscription for Etsy and for Shopify if you do happen to sell on both.
Okay, Chris said it way better than I did. So thank you. Yeah, and then join our Facebook group to continue the conversation. We are so grateful for you guys being in our community. We hope you guys learned so much during Anywhere POD Live, and that you're going to watch the replays now and implement and learn the best way to run your Pro-on-Demand shop. So thank you guys so much.
Cool. Thanks for the time, everybody. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks.